Welcome back to the 2024-2025 edition of the Atlantic 10 Insider Podcast. We are back for another year breaking down the A-10 for you here on the Field of 68 Media Network. My name is Rob Dauster. I got Jeff Goodman with me. In a couple of minutes, you're going to hear from none other than Malachi Smith, who made his return to the college basketball ranks on Monday night, scoring 11 points, handing out 6 assists, and playing 20 minutes without getting injured. Of course, he is the guy who, after a rough summer in 2023, came back and had a season-ending knee injury 7 minutes into his return to the court on the opening night of the college basketball season in 2024. So, I'm sorry, in 2023. It's nice to see him back. It's nice to see him healthy and Goodman. It is nice to see him smiling.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. What a good kid, and again, we are rooting for Malachi Smith. We are absolutely rooting for him this year.
Yep. So the first day of the college basketball season came and went, and there were some big wins for A-10 teams. There were some big losses that were probably expected. I don't think anyone saw Fordham going on the road and winning at Rick Pitino and St. John's in the first night of the season. But I think the big news, more than anything else, and probably one of the biggest news items that we got in college basketball, period, was Robbie Aila, the transfer from Indiana State, the first-year player at St. Louis under new head coach Josh Schertz, re-injured his ankle in the second half of the second game of the Field of 68 opening day showcase up in Sioux Falls. He left the game, didn't put any weight on his foot, came back, sat on the bench with ice on his ankle, and left the facility on crutches. What can you tell us about the status of his injury, Jeff?
You know, we had a great event there in Sioux Falls, except for that. Like, that was the only thing that I felt badly about was one of my favorite players, and what a great kid, Robbie Aila, going down like that late in the second half when they were within striking distance against a really good Santa Clara team that I think will be an NCAA tournament team at the end of the year. Yeah, I walked out with him. He was on crutches, and you could just see how frustrated and distraught he was, because as a guy who went through it, he had a grade 2 ankle sprain in his right ankle that kept him out for about a month in the off season, and it sure looked like he kind of re-injured it. And he's going to be out, according to Josh Schertz. He's going to be out here for a few weeks. And Schertz told me he's going to take it slow. They're going to be conservative with him, especially with it again, re-injuring it. I wouldn't be shocked if he's out, a month or so. They said a couple weeks in the release, but I think they're going to be more conservative, a little safer, understanding that they need him to be back at 100%. And I don't think they rushed this one. I just think, again, it was one of those things where, again, he went down and right under the basket, and started to play well. Like, he started off slow to begin the game, and then he started to really get going. He's making shots, they're running stuff through him, he's passing the ball, doing all the things that makes him great. And then he went down with that injury when they still had a little bit of a chance without Kobe Johnson and without Avila in the game. They weren't going to win that game down the stretch.
Yeah, I think the good news, if there is a little bit of a silver lining here for St. Louis, is that if you look at their schedule, they get, ironically enough, the next game that they play is on Sunday against Avila University. I don't know if they scheduled that specifically to get Robbie Aila to take on Avila, but he will not be on the floor for that game. And then they won't play again until the next weekend when they host Loyola Marymount, who is talented, but that's still a game that's probably winnable for them without Robbie on the floor. And then you get to the point where you need to start talking about, okay, we gotta find a way to be able to get this dude back on the court, right? You get Wichita State in the Hall of Fame Classic on November 22nd, which again is probably a game that you can at very least be competitive in without Robbie. Quinnipiac is the best team in the MAC, and they returned everybody, and they'll be one of the better in majors, but that's still a game that you can probably win. Same with UMass Lowell, one of the best teams in the America East, but that's still a winnable game. Jackson State is a game that you can win. It's not until you get to the San Francisco game on December 5th where I think you're having a real conversation about, okay, we have to make sure that we have Robbie available for this because I don't know if we can win it without him. If you can find a way to win 5 of those next 6 without him, that's very, very doable. And I think it's more important to get him healthy. Here's my single biggest concern with that. So much of what makes St. Louis effective and what makes Josh Shirt's offense effective is that you have a 5-man that can step out to the 3-point line and do all of those things as a passer. It completely changes the way that you play offensively because of how skilled he is on that end, and defensively because of some of the limitations that he has, to be frank, right? And it takes time to adjust to that when you have a new roster. And they were just kind of starting to hit their stride as we got to the Field of 68 opening day showcase, getting used to playing with him because of all the time that he missed in the summer. And now you have another month where you're actually playing games where you got to go back to playing a different way. And then you got to work him back in and he's got to work into shape. It's
You're going to
unfortunate
have to
timing.
play, Rob. The good thing about Josh Hurts is he's the type of coach that is willing and capable of adjusting quickly. So, yes,
Mhm.
they have to change their entire offense and they got to do it quick. Now, they played without him for a month in the offseason. That's the one benefit, right? But
Yep.
Anya's got to step up. They got to get Kobe Johnson back, and then they're gonna play smaller, and again, probably gonna have to completely change their offense for the next month, maybe 6 weeks. But you're right. Like if they can get him back in 4 weeks somehow, 4 weeks. And again, like the one thing is, if you go on a run here with him, you can certainly say to the NCAA tournament committee, hey, listen, yeah, we struggled early without him, but we are a completely different team. He's one of the top 25 players in America.
Yeah, but the downside of that is part of what having this non-conference schedule, what you needed St. Louis to do, not just for them, but for the Atlantic 10 as a whole, was go out here and just roll some of these teams and
Yep.
put up some of those efficiency margins that will allow you to say,
True.
hey, look, maybe we don't have the greatest resume when it comes to wins and losses, but look at our numbers, look at our efficiency numbers, look at what we are offensively, look where we rank in KenPom in the net. And those aren't going to have factors in where it says, okay, we got to boost this up because they didn't have this guy available. So those numbers are going to end up being
They'll
the
play
numbers.
faster. They'll play faster. That might help them.
Yeah, it's something where I think it's the knock on effect is that I think this not only impacts St. Louis, but it's going to make it so that programs like Dayton and programs like VCU, and some of the, and Loyola Chicago and St. Joe's and some of these other teams that have their eyes set on getting an at-large bid, they're going to have to find a way to make it work. Like they're going to the margin of error got smaller, if that makes sense. The good news is all those teams won, right? You're in a situation where they all won, and the first day of the first week of the college basketball season went pretty much to form. I will also add this. Uh, I would I would make the argument one that like you mentioned, Santa Clara is the tournament team, so there's no shame. There's going to be a quad one loss for St. Louis at the end of the day. Um, Top 50 team on a neutral, and two, that the mistakes that they made and the reason they lost, a lot of that had to do with some uh, rust slash early season mistakes that I don't think will be a problem for the St. Louis team in February and March. And that two, everything that I saw there, especially with Kobe Johnson not playing as well, everything that I saw from the St. Louis team said that this is a team that is a top 30-ish, 35 team in America when healthy. So
You
I
know what
think that
they
they,
need, Rob? You know what? The one thing they need, and the one thing that scares me losing Robbie is like their depth. Like they got nothing out of their bench. They're going to need to get something out of their bench going forward. Larry Hughes, AJ Casey, Dotzler, like those guys are going to have to give them something from here on out, especially now without Robbie.
yeah, absolutely. My only counterpoint would be that they got 31 minutes, 16.7 boards, and 2 of 4 threes from Kellen Thames, who came off the bench to step into a starting role that was vacated by Kobe Johnson. But look, you got your 2 starters now. Kobe Johnson, for those that didn't listen to the broadcast, injured his shoulder the day before, 2 days before, I guess on Saturday, 2 days before the first day of the season, and was like 50-50 to go. It didn't look like it was the most serious injury, but he went through some of the testing and tried to see if his shoulder would be able to handle playing on the first day of the season. They decided that it wouldn't be. So that's the update, as unfortunate as it was. But I was impressed with what I saw out of St. Louis in the time that they played. And there, again, there's absolutely no shame in taking a loss on a neutral court to Santa Clara. And in fact, I would say it's better for them to go out there and perform against a really good Santa Clara team than it would be to host somebody and beat them by 687 points at home while spending $100,000 to buy a victory. So credit to Josh Schertz, Robbie Avila, St. Louis Billikens for playing that game, and hopefully we get Robbie back sooner rather than later because let's be honest, man, college basketball is better when Robbie Avila is playing. It's
Yeah.
just as simple as that. College basketball is also better, Jeff, when Malachi Smith is playing. And we were able to catch up with the Dayton point guard who is back, who is healthy, who played 20 minutes, and he was smiling, man. It was great to see Malachi smiling. Let's hear from the red shirt junior Dayton point guard now. Now, let me welcome on to the A-10 Insider Podcast, our first official guest of the season, and it's none other than Dayton point guard Malachi Smith. And Malachi, we were joking around a little bit before. We've been waiting to have you on this podcast for like 2 years, man. It's one, it's nice to see you healthy, and also it's nice to see you playing well. 11 points, 6 assists, 3 steals, and most importantly, not a single turnover off the bench in the season-opening win for the Flyers over St. Francis. How you feeling, man? How's it feel to be back on the court?
It feels good to be back. I had a lot of fun the other day. So in the exhibition games, I had a lot of fun. So I knew I was gonna have a good year, and I'm glad I started off right. We got the dub, 30-point dub. So just glad to be back, man. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've really been. Listen, we've been rooting for you. I know we're supposed to be objective, right? We're supposed to be objective as media members. I'm not objective when it comes to you. I'm not. I mean, I'll admit that. Like, I want you to have, man, knock on wood, healthy season, number one, and then one hell of a season, number two.
Nah,
You've been bitten by the injury bug. I think everybody kind of knows that a little bit. Just kind of, if you can go back to everything you've been through, the adversity overall, and the biggest thing that you've learned coming out of this right now, what would it be?
I think I just learned the game or just watching it. I think I had a good feel for the game with my IQ already, but I think my freshman year I kind of was just playing off just instinct, just out there and just playing, just going. So then when I like just was able to just sit back and just like read defenses and stuff like that, offensive, and know the game, and I have a great coach that taught me the game well. I think that just gave me an extra boost, plus the IQ that I already have.
How do you how did you handle that last year, right? Like for the people that are listening that may not know, you hurt your ankles, you were banged up for some of the 22-23 season, right? You come
Mm-hmm.
back from that summer where you had surgery on, I believe, both of your ankles. Get back in shape, get back ready to go, and 7 minutes into last season, you tore it was meniscus, correct?
Yeah, my
Yeah.
meniscus.
Tear your meniscus and miss the season. Like how do you kind of handle that mentally, knowing you put in all that work and then all of a sudden, boom, it gets taken away. 7 minutes, man. 7 minutes. That's
Yeah,
not fair.
yeah, it was tough. I had my parents there, I had my friends there for the first game back after my surgeries, and I was just excited to play. Like once I was cleared, I just wanted to go out and play. And I think the difference from last year to now is that I'm ready to play, but I'm ready to like be myself and ready to kill instead of just being out there on the court to play. So that's like a big thing for me. The mental part was just hard, but I have a great circle with my family and my friends, and they kept me level headed, just one day at a time. So it was definitely hard, but I would say my family really kept me level headed, and they did wonders for me this past year.
Do you trust your body? You talk to people that go through injuries like this. The half of the battle is trusting that you can go out and do the things that you were normally going to do without hurting yourself again.
Yeah, I would say when I first got cleared after my knee surgery, like I was nervous. Like, trusting my body wise and moving how I want to move. And my coaches and my teammates, they've been telling me like, just trust it. And they know it's easy to say to trust it, but to be the person to go out there and after being hurt, after so long, just to trust your whole a whole new body is like they gave me patience. They were patient with me, so it was hard, but I definitely felt way better now. Like every week I've kind of showed just a little progress, and seeing that kind of helped me. So it was definitely rough, but I feel great now, and I'm just ready to go out and kill.
So for everything you went through, obviously, personally it's difficult and everything like that. But I assume watching what your head coach went through, what Anthony Grant went through with his daughter passing away, probably put this in perspective a lot more than for most people, right? Like you're going through it, it's woe me, feeling sorry for yourself, and then you see what he goes through. How did that maybe change your perspective a little bit too?
Yeah, I think our whole team that season got hit with the injury bug, like me, Kobe Bryant, Kobe Ellis. We all got hit with an injury bug, and we were fine. We were just a little down on ourselves. But to see what our coach went through, it was kind of different. It was kind of like a different type of mental state. And we went to his house, I think like the next day, and I kind of saw like he wasn't himself. And I'm glad that he's feeling a lot better now. But that week that like I didn't see him, and the week that happened, it was kind of rough seeing that, and to know that he's going through that, it kind of boosted our team a little bit, just to know like we're fine. Let's just do it for our coach. And unfortunately, we lost that season, and I think against VCU in the championship. But I think he knows, and we all know that we tried all we could, 100%. So as long as we tried our best, we did all we could that year. So we tried to do it for him, and he did it for us. He kind of stepped up and not push that to the side, but he kind of came big for us, knowing how much of a big piece he is to our team.
You guys have had a lot of turnover on this roster. Both the Kobe's are gone that you just mentioned. Duran has gone, obviously, off to the NBA. You're a veteran. You're a leader on this team. What have you seen from some of these new guys coming in, Zed Key and Posh Alexander specifically? And we saw what they did in that first game. Who's impressed you, right? Who are we going to see a big year from out of this Dayton program?
I was going to say Enoch Cheeks. That's the first person that came out. I think he was kind of under the radar. I wouldn't say under the radar, but we had a lot of options on our team last year with Duran, Kobe Ellis, Kobe Bryant, Nate. And I know he has the ability. We know he has the offensive ability and defensive ability, to be probably an all-conference player. And we lost 20-point player, 20-point per game player, 20 and 10 first rounder. So we're gonna need him, to step up. And he's done that. He's proven he's done that last year. I think he played good, coming with a double-double first game. So I think we'll see a major improvement from him.
How's it going to work with you and Posh? Obviously, you're both point guards. To me, I always say you can never have enough point guards on the floor, right? And you're a guy who can obviously shoot it. So I think you guys can play together. I don't know how much you did play together in the first round. I mean, in the season opener. What's that been like?
At first it was definitely, I'll be honest, it was definitely kind of just a little, not weird, but, it was kind of like we have to get used to it. Cause, we were both on the ball. So sometimes, like, I would say, you got it. But now he'll give it back to me. And I'm like, nah, you got it. So it was kind of a challenge just the first couple practices. But we definitely gained major improvements just on the court, just flowing together. Like, if you had the ball, I'm going to run. If I had the ball, he's going to run. We know we're going to make the best decisions for the team, not for ourselves, even if we shoot it, but for the team. And I think our coach knows that. And our teammates know when we had the ball, most of the time, good things going to happen. Like, I don't think I had any turnovers last game, and I think he probably didn't have that much. I think we take pride in that, just because the ball's in our hands so much. But I think we're going to run this team well. We still got more improvement to do. I definitely say that. But from the time we first started, we definitely gained major improvement. Just flowing together and just not having to worry about something in the back of our head. So it
So
was
we
definitely
got
fun playing. He's from New York. I'm from New York.
Yeah.
We knew each
Yep.
other for, kind of a little minute, just growing up together. So
that's
it's
what I
fun,
was.
just crazy playing it with. I usually play against him.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. You got a one point guard from the Bronx, one from Brooklyn, right? You got one point guard that went to St. Ray's, one guy that went to Our Savior, right? You got one guy from the Gauchos, one guy from the Lightning, and
Yeah.
you got to go up against each other in practice. What are those battles like? I got to imagine there's a little bit of. I know guys from New York. I got to imagine there's a little bit of jawing going on when you guys are going head to head in
Yeah,
practice.
we definitely get intense and start competing. But like after the practice, or if I hard foul him or he hard fouls me, we like, there you go, just to make sure like he's still my brother. But on the court, we on the opposite team right now. We still gonna make sure, and we both been on the same page for that. So like, if I see he fall down, I'm gonna pick him up regardless. So just like that, we from New York, so we both competitive and intense, but we both know in the back of our head that we still brothers.
Where did he go to high school? Where did he go?
He went to Our Savior Lutheran,
All
OSL.
right. St. Ray. Hey, St. Ray's guards are tougher. We know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right?
we got a nice history of guards at St. Ray's.
Oh, I know. I seen a lot of you guys coming up. Like I was around covering the days of who was it? Brian Lang? Did Brian Lang go there?
Yeah, B. Lang. Yeah, he went to
Right.
Seton Hall.
Gavin Grant,
Green
Truck.
Ray.
I mean,
Yeah,
you guys
Charles
had
Truck
some
Bryant.
dudes.
Yeah, we had a lot of dudes.
Where'd
My
your brother
favorite,
go? Where'd your
my
brother go?
brother went to he went to Rice and then when it closed down, he went to Putnam Science.
He did. What's your brother up to now? For obviously a star, coming out of Dayton Scoochie. What's he doing now?
He's in Serbia right now playing. Last year he was in Finland. So yeah, he likes it over there in Serbia because he's been bouncing around, but I think he really likes Serbia. So
What did he, again, like as somebody that you could look up to and learn from, right? Like what's the biggest piece of advice or something even you learned from watching him just play that he didn't even have to tell you, but you watched him and learned from?
yeah, growing up, I kind of wanted to model my game as him. We grew up, just playing basketball all the time. So when I used to go there again, I wanted to do what he do. I wanted to work out with him. So I think we both got a nice feel for the game. I think that's where I got just how he moves and how he thinks. So, but he definitely helped me a lot this last 2 years. Well, I say all my whole college career. This was when I first got there. He was like, "Don't come here because you want to, just because I went here." He's like, "If you want to do this, it's on you. It's a new coach." So when he told me that, that kind of gave me like the green light, to have my own career. And then when I got hurt, he stood there like he understood like how difficult it is. He hasn't gone through any injuries, but he understood, like how the influence he has on me, and just to stay in touch with me. Like how much I look up to him. So he done a great job. Even though he's far away, it's like a different time zone and stuff like that. He always makes sure to call me or just text me.
Did he take it easy? Like when you play one-on-one, was he just kicking your ass or did he take
Nah,
it?
yeah, he was. He was. I'll be honest.
Mhm.
I was young. I wasn't young. I'm grown now though, so we're going to play again. So I say he got it right now, but
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
a
you got to
little
get
older.
back,
That's what
right?
I'm
You got
saying.
to
I'm
get
a little
back
older now. I don't know if
100%.
he could bump me, like that.
No question. No question.
All right. So what's the one thing that's gonna have to happen? All right. So we look up, let's pretend it's February and you're sitting there, you guys are like tied for first place, competing for an Atlantic 10 regular season championship in the mix for the top 25 and an at-large bid and all that. What's the most important thing that you think you guys kind of have to improve on and take the next step on if you're going to be at that level as a Dayton basketball program this year?
I think we're pretty good on both sides of the floor. I think we can just we need to, if we want to be in March Madness, we definitely have to lock it, move it up to definitely a couple notches. Just on a defensive rebounding, we lost. Like I said, we lost a first rounder, so he's done a lot for our team. He's like our engine. When I wasn't there, so we just know we have to be better offensively and defensively. Just being convicted. Just I wouldn't say it's nothing major. Just rebounding, blocking out, stuff like that. I definitely say we can definitely up our focus a little bit more on both sides of the floor. Just on offensively, just flowing better, keeping our turnovers low and yeah, stuff like that.
Hey, what was it like last year playing in, going to the NCAA tournament game? What are your emotions? I always wonder this with guys that are hurt. Now, you've been hurt all year, so you had obviously already kind of come to terms that you weren't going to play last year. I understand that, but still, you're going to the NCAA tournament. You're watching your teammates finally get there after obviously the program, should have been there the year of COVID and a number one seed. Like, how is it? Is it hard at all at that point, or are you already at the point where, again, you've accepted it and you're all in, just happy for your teammates, or is it bittersweet?
I would say like when I first missed a couple games, when I got injured, I was kind of down. But during the season, like during non-conference and conference, I kind of felt better. I'm cool. But when it got to the A-10 tournament and March Madness, it was kind of hard because the A-10 tournament was in Barclays, which is my hometown. That was right there. A lot of family or friends would have been there, so that was kind of rough. We lost the first round, and then March Madness, that was just a whole different energy.
Right.
Just being on the bench, I'm like,
Yeah,
I
killing
don't
you,
know how to
right?
feel
Killing
right
you,
now. You said what?
killing you not to be able to play. I assume.
Yeah, so I just tried my best, to talk to my teammates, take my mind with it. It was real. I'll say that just gave me the motivation, I need to do what I need to do for rehab and just put myself first so I can make sure our team is in the same spot next year. So I say it was definitely hard. Just watching this, the March Madness is a way different energy than
It is.
like a season opener or even like a conference tournament.
All right. Last thing I got for you, Malachi. How many points are you going to have to average this season for the Dayton program to upgrade you from Deron Holmes' old computer?
Well, I would know about that. I would know about that, but I do want to average. I was trying to average. My goal was to average about a double double. I wanted to average a double double with points and assists. I'm gonna definitely get a couple steals and with a couple rebounds. I think I'm a stat sheet stuffer. That I can just do everything. So I think about averaging like 14, 15 around that area and just trying to have a lot of assists. I know the assists is gonna come and everything's gonna flow. So I know the coaches trust me, my teammates trust me with the ball. So I'm just ready to go. Like I said, last year I was just ready to play, but now I'm ready to kill.
Yeah. Well, listen,
Where
man.
I got one more for him. I got one more. Just where you're at now, like that first game. If you had to put a percentage on where you are physically and mentally, are you at 100 both, or you still got to get a little bit back on both? Are you 90
Yeah.
and you feel like, hey, I play well, but I still got a ways to go here before I get back to where I want to be?
Yeah, I definitely say I'm not 100%, but I definitely say I'm about like a 90. But I definitely felt good, and I know I only played 20 minutes, um, and I think I had like a good game with no turnover. I think I had a solid game, and I definitely know I can play better than what I did in those 20 minutes. So I'm ready to go. Like I said, I'm not even 100% yet. Still doing my rehab stuff with my trainers. Um, but like I said, thank you guys for having me, and I'm just ready to play.
Well, we appreciate you being here, man. We're excited to see what you can do this season. Very happy to have you back in the world of college basketball.